Hey everyone, this is Paik4Life, and today I'm doing a video review for the Hasbro Masterpiece MP-05 Sunstorm. So this is the US version of Sunstorm, which is quite a bit different than the Takara version. It does use the same MP-11 mold, contrary to the picture you see here, so that was a bit of controversy why they used a kind of customized MP3 mold when it doesn't look like the same colors as the figure and it's a different mold, the older mold. But let's go ahead and get started with the review. As always, we're going to go into the packaging first, and you should be familiar with this packaging style by now, with this being the 5th release, although I haven't seen MP-04 yet, Prowl yet. This is the new, kind of uniform box that the Masterpiece line in the US is using, the purple and white for Decepticons and the red and white for the Autobots. So up front you get that nice picture, as usual, very similar to the Acid Storm box. If you've seen that, you get the Decepticon logo that comes around to the side. In the back you always get a few looks at the different modes. So up front you get the alt mode. You get to see the stand on that side, which is included, and then down below you get to see the robot mode. Zoom back out. So coming around to the other side, you get the bio. I'm going to zoom in again, and I'll let you guys pause and read that if you want. I'm not going to spend the time doing that. Alright, and then down at the bottom you get the tech specs. Okay, and let's come back around to the front, zoom back out, and get started with the unboxing. Oh, one thing I will note is that the packagings for all the ones that I've seen in stores, the sleeve is a little bit not off center because it's supposed to be off center, but it covers up some of the Transformers wording here, which is really annoying to me. Like, you should be able to see the top of the T and everything, and you see that it should be shifted over a good centimeter or so, and that really bothers me. I'm hoping that this might be an error just in the first run or just in the batch that I've seen, because that really bugs me. Anyway, so opening up, you can just cut it from the side and open it up, as opposed to some of the other ones, like Soundwave in particular, where you had to take off this entire sleeve to access the figure. Open them up. I apologize, this box is a bit too big for my current review area. I'm actually having a little bit of trouble fitting everything in. So this is Sunstorm, and again, if you've opened up, if you own Acid Storm, it's going to look very familiar with the packaging. He also does come with a nice instruction manual as well. Let me see if I can keep that balance. But if you own any of this mold, or even the MP3 mold, a lot of this is going to be second nature to you. I never really follow these instructions, so hopefully I can do this without causing too many issues. So let's go ahead and get them out of the clamshell. You get the stand on the right side as usual, and it has Sunstorm and the Decepticon emblem. And this is standard with almost all of the secret releases. The only one that I can think of that doesn't have a stand is the MP-11. I guess MP-11S does not have one either. Both of those molds do not have that. And I'll open this up real quick. And this is the stand you'll need that connects to the stand. And then the two small accessories, which are the pilot, which is in this silver, matching silver, not silver, what am I saying? The matching yellow orangish yellow, and the gun clip that you can use with Masterpiece Megatron. Take out the figure here. Got two sets of missiles, and then we can get started. Angle this down a bit so you guys can get a better look. Alright, so first thing we'll do is pull out the landing gear just so he looks a little bit better. You just flip this part out, and then you can pull down to get the front landing gear down. And then from here on the bottom where his knees are, you can just open up there. There's little cutouts that allow you to do that. And there you have it, landing gear. No figure should be with that one, right? No offense, Kronos. And for the stand, as usual, there's a couple ways that you can put it together. You can put it together this way, with this going to the slot here, and this is for alt mode, which we'll show off in a bit. But also you get the two missiles that can plug on here or onto the robot himself in jet or robot mode. I usually just keep those displayed here because I like to use the null rays. Going to his other accessories very quickly, you can open up the cockpit and fit the pilot in there. And I'm just noticing, this is the Dr. Arkeville mold. It's not the jet pilot. It's Dr. Arkeville, and just yellow. And you can tell because he has that weird helmet on, that mind control looking helmet. Anyway, you can close that back down and that'll tab in. And for the gun clip, this actually goes underneath the nose cone in that little slot here. Sorry, give me 1 second, guys. The reason I ran off for a bit is because I went to go get my Megatron gun so that I can actually show you guys how this works. This clips on here and then clips back in. It might interfere with the landing gear. Nope, there we go. And so then you have Sunstorm with Megatron. And just complete the look, we'll go ahead and put him in the flight stand. And what you use is this little piece of plastic here is going to connect to the underside. So let me first close this up because these will get in the way. And what you want to do is actually, I'm trying to remember now actually, where does this go? Here. Oh, that's right. So it connects to this area here under the head, I believe. So the way you can tell is because not only does this part connect, but there's a little oval that connects to these two tabs that are part of like the chest. So that goes in here. It should go up and connect, but this plastic actually seems a little bit weaker than I'm used to seeing. So it's best to connect the top part first and then squeeze in the bottom. It's It's not actually working for me very well right now though. So there you go. And he looks good. You're gonna have to display him going facing to the left if you want Sunstorm to be showing. Anyway, with that said, his alt mode looks really good. I really like the flame detail. I never really liked the digital camo of Acid Storm. That's just not for me, but you can see the really nice flame detail, and it's pretty subtle. So unless you're really looking for it, you might not notice it right away. And the yellow is rare yellow. It's not the orange that you see in the iGear Sunstorm. I feel like I don't have my MP-11S. I just ordered one, so I don't have them to compare. If I do get him before I actually post this video, I'll try to do a comparison with him. But overall, it looks really good. The interesting choice of colors, some people are saying kind of like a Ronald McDonald theme going on here with the yellow and red and white. And it definitely kind of does make you reminisce about Ronald McDonald. So I'm actually getting hungry for some McDonald's French fries right now. Alright, close that back up. So overall, if you're familiar with this mold, there's nothing new or really unique besides the paint job, but it is really nice. I do like it, and I actually like the red on the wings here. His alt mode looks really good. I think it's definitely a really good looking alt mode. I think the robot mode is where most people are gonna be hit or miss. So like, let's take out Yellow Archiville. Close him up. And the first thing you were supposed to do when you transform him is pull up this back piece, this back panel. Oh, actually, I should show some of the features first. So, as always, if you don't know this mold, there's a couple things. You can pull this up for the air brake. You can come back here and open up either of these leg pieces here, and you can see the engines, which have some amount of detail in there, which is pretty cool. Close that up. You do have the flaps, the articulated flaps, the articulated tail fins here, and the thrusters themselves are on a ball joint, and they can articulate. The interesting thing about the MP-11 mold is that the null rays are actually connected with this piece, and can articulate and can go forward, and then if you wanted to, you can actually have simultaneously the missiles and the null rays at the same time. I think that looks a little too much, a little cluttered. So again, I usually put one or the other. Again, I typically prefer the null rays, and you don't actually need to take the null rays completely off for transformation. So I'm going to do that without doing that. And I think that's it. Hopefully I'm not missing any other quote-unquote feature functionality in alt mode. So let's go ahead and transform him. So the first thing we do, like I said earlier, is you need to pull up this back panel first, which can be kind of tight. You just have to wiggle that out. There we go, and it's going to go up like this. Next, what I always do is push the front of the jet forward. That releases some of the tabs here. Then you're going to untab. Oh, actually, sorry. You want to untab these null rays, because even though you don't need to completely take them off, you do need to kind of get them out of the way, so that the wings, the reason being that the wings need to untab and come out, untab this way, and articulate upwards. Before you fully do that, there is a little tab here right here that you need to pull out on each side of the wing. And this actually keeps the wings from pegged into the back of robot mode. Just pull those all the way out. And now again, you can rotate that all the way up if you can avoid running into the null rays. And these tabs go into this small slot up here. Same thing on the other side. Again, try to get these null rays out of the way. Untab it on the side here, and then rotate it upwards. Oops. One thing that you'll notice is these hinges on the MP-11 mold are a lot easier just to pop off. I don't know if they're designed to do that, but they do that much easier than the MP3 mold. So again, tab this into the back. Next, what we're going to do is go ahead and deal with the legs. Separate the legs, and then just pull them down, straight down. Doesn't require a lot of force. It's not crazy annoying like some figures are. They're actually pretty nice. Then we're going to finish off the foot by first doing the toe. You're going to flip that down and around, and this makes up the front of the foot. So again, untab the toe here and rotate it all the way around. That'll form the toe. On the back side where the engines were, you can grab this little piece here, open that up, and this is where one of the major differences was from the MP, or improvements from the MP3 mold that the MP-11 has. You can actually pull these engines out and they form a heel, and you close it back up. And this is a vast improvement in terms of stability over the MP3 mold. It's a really welcome change. You want to pull these tail fins in, and the last thing you want to do is actually push this whole side piece up. And again, that's the other major difference, is that you got rid of all that hip kibble. So just pull that up and it'll click into place like so. So you can actually stand pretty well just like that. Alright, next we're gonna pull these arms out to the side. And at this point you can rotate the null rays down like this on the ball joint. And then there is a space inside the null ray that will go in, they'll accommodate that plastic piece. And that will collapse inwards. The hands you can pull straight down. Same thing on this side, pull the hand straight down, and then the null rays, again, rotate that up, and that will allow you to rotate on the ball joint downwards. There we go. And then collapse that in on itself. Alright, the next piece is to clean up the chest area to allow space for the cockpit to come down and through. So you're going to separate these two pieces and articulate them outward and down to the side. So again, outward first. And mine's a little bit tight. This is actually the first time transforming him. And down. And he'll have that space open in the middle. And you need that space because that's going to be how the cockpit forms the chest, but you need that so that you can actually transform the rest of them. So what you need to do now is you're going to open that up, and you're going to pull the nose piece down. You're going to rotate this cockpit up 90 degrees, so that's flat here, and then close the cockpit. And then the nose is going to fold downwards. And what that's going to do is going to allow you to push it straight through the middle of the robot. Right here is you might get your head stuck a little bit. So when you're rotating this down, lean the head back and make sure it's straight, and that will help get him through, like so. So again, lean the head back. That's the easiest way. So now we can rotate the entire piece through the back, the nose coming through the back. And from here, you're going to actually pull this back straight. In that hole that we use for the gun clip, there is a tab, a circular tab in the back piece that's going to plug right into that. And then you're going to rotate both of those pieces together to face downwards 90 degrees. Coming back to the front, we're going to now rotate the arms straight, and then rotate these chest pieces downwards, which will simultaneously rotate the arms down to the side. Lastly, this is a really hard place to show exactly what I'm going to be doing, and it doesn't even work particularly well, but you need to tab this cockpit, the bottom side of the cockpit, into this small tab in the back here, which I'm trying to point to. There's a small hole that slots in. It doesn't even slot in very well. It's been a point of I don't know, debate whether this actually is supposed to tab in. It never tabs in very well for me. So I'm going to say that it doesn't tab in, but it's supposed to at least helps you keep it aligned. And this whole upper body and back are on sliding joints, and you're supposed to push that all the way down to get that to come down. There we go. See, mine didn't align correctly. My sliding joint's super tight for some reason. There we go. Hopefully you're not getting a cracking sound when you do yours. That's going to be good enough. There is a part of the front, which is the crotch piece, which is supposed to, originally in the MP3 model, supposed to come out enough to allow it to fit on the outside of this cockpit, but this one doesn't open up as much as the other. It does, and it really doesn't move almost at all. So I don't even bother with it. If you want, you can mess with it, but I've never been very successful in getting that to really really work out well. So there's the head, and the last thing that you're going to do is fold these flaps down. Actually, you could have done that first. A lot of people do that first, but I just always end up doing it last. And there we have them. We have Masterpiece Sunstorm MP-05 in robot mode. And again, he looks really great. The only thing that really kind of bothers me about him is possibly this bronzish gold coloring that they've decided to use with him. I don't know why they thought that worked really well. On the head, a friend of mine, a local friend of mine, said it looks like his head got dipped in a dirty toilet bowl, because it looks almost, it is a brown color. I mean, they want it to be kind of a dark bronze color, I guess. But yeah, it's pretty much brown, and kind of the worst possible brown that you can think of. It doesn't have the same kind of richness of this one. This looks more, because this is metallic, you can understand it. But since this is just regular molded plastic, it doesn't have that, it's not painted. It doesn't have that kind of shininess to it. So it does kind of stick out. You can maybe you can paint it if you want, if it really bothers you. I think it's fine for the most part. But otherwise, he does look really good. Again, the flame details on the wings really are pretty impressive. Again, I like that much better than the digital camo from Acid Storm. Same kind of articulation. His head's on a ball joint. It can look up, look down, all around. His arms are ratcheted and then are on a swivel there. Double jointed elbows, so you can bring that all the way around. His wrists do have articulation. His fingers are interesting. His first finger is on a ball joint as well as a hinge. And then the other three are on together on a ball joint and have a single hinge for the last three fingers. The thumb is on a ball joint, can come up and around. He does have an upper bicep swivel. And for due to transformation, you can angle his wrist in a little bit as well, but his thumb will get in the way depending on however you have it positioned. He does have some waist articulation, but it's mostly blocked by the cockpit, so there's not much you can do about that. He does have some articulation in the side panels and front panels. It's very little. It's basically negligible. His legs, let me get his hands out the way, are on ratchets, but again are kind of impaired. The movement is kind of impaired due to the side pieces. Upper thigh swivel, bend at the knees. Can almost get 90 degrees. Oh yeah, you can get actually more than 90 degrees. Oh, it's double jointed. I'm sorry, I didn't even notice that. I've never noticed that you have double jointed knees, so you get a lot of range of motion there. I guess I've never really taken him out of the A stance for the most part. No, because his legs collapse, there's no knee swivel. And then for the toe, he has, again, due to transformation, he has some forward and back, and he does have some twist here. The heel just has forward and really little. You can't really do it because that part needs closed. The thrusters are on a ball joint, but again, now that you have the proper heel, it kind of makes the movement on the articulation on the thrusters kind of a moot point. And that's about it. I think I covered all articulation. As far as features, again, you can stick these on the back like so. Oops. Oh man, I didn't mean to do that. And for this mode, what you want to do is take the clear plastic piece out and slide it in this way. So it looks kind of backwards, but you have to slide it in this way with this piece in the front. Slide that in, and this part will sit on the bottom of the crotch, and there's a small hole here which corresponds to this peg on his butt. So you go ahead and do that. It's a pretty tight fit, so there we go. And now you have Sunstorm in his robot mode. This mold doesn't have an alternate head. The previous MP3 molds all had multiple faces, two faces that you could swap out. This one does not have that capability, but and his expression is more very neutral, almost I want to say robotic, but obviously they're all robots, but Very expressionless, no smirk or anything, or even a scowl. Very straight faced. But I do like this mold, and I do like this version of the mold. I thought I was going to be kind of turned off by the color scheme, and I think it's still nice. The red and white are pretty strong contrast with the yellow, but they do complement it pretty well. He does look very Ronald McDonald-ish, especially in this mode. But like I said, I do like him. He looks very nice. The only other feature that I think I forgot to mention before is that his chest pieces can move up, and he has like these pec muscles, which I think Starscream uses in like one episode. I don't even clearly remember if he uses it more than once. Okay, and to be complete, as always, I always provide both types of transformation. So now we're gonna go hurriedly back into robot mode. So let's curl up the thumb and the fingers. And one thing that it comes out of the package as his fist, like so, but then you can see his fist and his fingers. I actually think that's a mistransformation. I think it needs to be like that, and then you just see the back of the hand when it closes up. And I'll show you what I mean when we get there. So let's go ahead and pull up the chest. Let's take off these rockets too while we're at it. We're going to unpeg the nose cone from the back. Going to pull that down and put it 90 degrees. Oh, well, just, it doesn't have to be 90 degrees, but you're going to want to push that through the front. And just be careful, you don't want to scratch anything. Once you have that, you can open up the cockpit, straighten this out, close that, and then you're going to straighten out the cockpit to fit completely around there. Oh, one feature I didn't mention before in jet mode is you can pull out and open the nose cone, and you have the radar kind of dish. All right, so plug that back in. We're gonna have that straight. Next, we're gonna flip up the chest and the arms. Okay, like so. Then you're going to rotate these chest pieces back out and up. Again, first out and up. And then they do peg together in the middle. Okay. Rotate while holding this piece, rotate the arms down at the shoulders, and you're gonna probably want to pull this out a bit, but you're gonna rotate this 90 degrees so the fist is facing forward, and then you're gonna rotate at the shoulder, this hinge here, to get it in. And there's a small lip you have to get through to get this fist all the way in, like so. Okay. So, same thing on this side, hold this up, rotate this down, pull this out, rotate the arm back, and then rotate them at the shoulder, hinge inward. And there you can see what I was talking about before. The fists come together like so, and you don't see the fingers. It's a much better, cleaner transformation, I think. So I think that's what the intention was from the get-go. Alright, let's rotate these pieces while we have them. And just be careful with these. These are pretty thin plastic, so... But they do pop up on the ball joint and if you put too much. This one's actually really flimsy. I don't remember if that's the case with others of this mold. So here, let's go back down to the bottom. Pull this all the way down, on both legs. Let's go ahead and rotate the toe up tab that in, toe up, tab that in. On the back side, open up the engine covers on both sides and just flip those in. Don't push them in all the way into the cavity because it makes it very hard to get out. They don't need to be. Just rotate them up so they're kind of cleared away. Close that back up. Next, what you're going to do is collapse the leg. So just get a firm grip on the crotch upper leg area and just collapse it. And again, these are much easier than a lot of others with the collapsing leg features. I think these are probably one of the best collapsing legs. And I mentioned the Kronos video before. I hate the idea of collapsing legs and Transformers. They more often than not are a pain, and you always feel like you're going to break something. These are probably one of the better ones. When you have the legs all the way up, tab them together. Come back. Oh, so this didn't come all the way up. Okay, now we're gonna rotate these, untab at the top, and rotate these down. Again, these hinges are they fall out a lot more, and I think actually on the MP3, if I'm not mistaken, that was actually totally closed off and not open like that. Before you peg everything in, make sure to close this. Oh, I made a mistake. I don't know why I thought that I had to pull these up. I pulled them down before. I was getting confused. These were supposed to go all the way down, so that was right before. And when you get the wing together, there's multiple tabs. There's a tab here that goes into the inside. There's a tab on the arm that needs to go into this slot here. And tab on this side that goes in there. So there's a lot of little tabs that need to go in, so just be careful when you do everything. Just so all that tabs into place and it will sit in nice and close. And then once that's done, you can rotate the top up. So let's do that again. Pull this out, rotate it down, and of course it came out again. I was actually trying to be careful that time. You should be more careful than I am. I'm actually trying to rush through this a bit because it's already, all my videos seem to take so long, and they really I need to work on that. So when you come down here, the easiest way is to probably push down on this and slide it in sideways, and you'll get those tabs. Then what I like to do is pull this up and get this big tab in here to get it fit in. And then once you have that, the side one, just push that in, it kind of all automatically goes into place. And lastly, this goes up. And this back panel is already kind of automatically gone into place, but if it's still sitting up, just rotate that back down and push into place. It should all kind of tab in. Nice and easy. There. Come back to the front, articulate this down. Open up these flaps, and this peg will go, oh, sorry, this needs to rotate this way, I believe. Oh, no, that's not right. Something's not right here. Doing something wrong. This ball joint always confuses me in which way it's supposed to go. Came all this way and then I failed. This definitely does feel more brittle than the others of this mold. This piece here, I definitely feel it flexing a lot more than the others. So just be careful. That's something to be wary of. I've never had to really think about that, but in transforming this guy and just trying to move these pieces around, I definitely feel it. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one for now. Let's pull these flaps down. This should just go peg right in there. Yeah. Just push it back. I don't know why I was having so much trouble. So this needs to come back around this way. This needs to go in. Just needs to push it back. And that'll plug in without bringing the arm out. There we go. Finally. Everything in place. Something feels odd. So again, you just have to be kind of mindful of all these tabs that need to fit in places that sometimes aren't fitting in places. I think this stupid null ray is causing me to have problems pegging everything in. It's really frustrating. I've never had this issue before. Alright. It's supposed to rotate back, but it's not rotating back. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. This is taking way longer than I had anticipated. And again, we're back in alt mode, jet mode. Fold these down. And there we have it. So final thoughts, guys. I think that this is well worth your money. He retails for $79.99 at Toys R Us. It is a Toys R Us exclusive. You usually can find a 20% off coupon and bring him down to, you know, $54 before tax. But I think that's definitely worth it. I greatly prefer this over the Sunstorm one. And so if you can get him, he's still online. He's still available online at Toys R Us. I think he's not going to be super popular just because he's a lesser known character. But he does look really good, and his alt mode looks fantastic. Like I said, I think this is probably the best version of the Sunstorm mold as far as the alt mode goes compared to my iGear one and the Takara MP-11S version. I think this one looks the best in alt mode. If you have other versions of this mold, it'll be familiar, but different enough with this detailing that it'll be worth having. All right, so go ahead, guys, and pick them up when you have a chance. If you like this video, please like it, share it, and subscribe, and I'll be producing more and more videos for you. All right, thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one.